So you still doing your podcast then?
Yes.
What's it called again?
On the Come Up.
Because I've listened to some of it.
Oh, thanks.
I am not your audience. I can tell you that right now. But I wanted to give it a try.
Well, and we're trying to make a couple episodes that are geared toward like telling older generations than Gen Z what they want to know about the Gen Z group. So that'll be sometime this year.
Young ladies mostly, right? Is that what it is?
Well, it's just young people in general, but it's
every episode I listen to is you and another young lady on the podcast.
Well, I have a co-host.
Okay.
So that's probably why.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, what's it about?
Maybe I just favor women. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Whatever. I want to hear I want to pimp it out a little bit. What's it about?
So it's about Libby, my co-host, and I. We interview local young professionals who are making waves in the Toledo community.
That's what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I knew I'd remember what it was once because when you first started doing it, I started listening to it. Ron did too. Ron and I both were trying to. We try.
I love him.
We try to listen. We're like, I don't know. I don't understand some of these things. We're obviously just too old. I don't know. I mean, we can't relate to some of these things, some of the topics anymore.
It's fair. It's definitely like peer-to-peer kind of
and that's perfect. That's what podcasting is, though, is you find the podcast that fits who you are, and that's what makes podcasts successful.
Well, and it was nice because they were looking for somebody to fill that niche specifically for young people. So were WGTE, the Voices Around Us project.
Gotcha. And then you were just in Portugal?
Mm-hmm. Michaela and I went,
Oh, Michaela, you were there too?
Yeah. I was there too. Yeah.
Okay. Were you two? Did you two fly together?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I saw you guys all next to each other then. Okay. And I saw. See, I'm catching up here. You two just have to sit over there quietly and just listen to me and Riley talk.
I'm so okay with that. I'm sorry. No, you're good. They hear me talk enough. I swear.
It's great. It was great though because I am an old man who snoops on all the youngins who did theater with my children. So I still follow Riley and I still follow Bailey Feldstein. I still follow Katie. These are not their last names anymore. All these people I follow, they're all getting married now. So that's where you were.
Yeah,
there
were you going
to
say Katie Holtz?
I was going to say.
I don't know her last name now, which is crazy.
Yeah, so you were there for
Bailey's wedding. Yeah, I was one of her bridesmaids.
That's amazing. So I saw you going to Portugal. I'm like, who goes to Portugal?
Yeah, just for a wedding. There was, I
didn't know. I thought you guys were just going on vacation.
Well, it was really fun, and we wish we had more vacation time than just the wedding time.
So I saw that you guys are. I'm like, oh, look at that! They're going on vacation. How cool is that? But who goes to Portugal? Nobody goes. That's on somebody's list.
Honestly, it was gorgeous.
Oh,
it was
I know.
So much fun.
It is.
I would love to go
never
back.
Anybody's top thing first.
That's fair.
They're like, we're going to go to Greece. We're going to go to Italy. We're going to go to Ireland. And it's like Portugal's way down on the list. And then I saw. Oh, Bailey's getting married. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then my brain connected the dots eventually. It was like, oh, I think she's there for that.
Yeah, my parents went too, so that was fun.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We went a week. So because I was one of the bridesmaids, Michaela and I went a week earlier, and we went and did the bridal party stuff. And then the next weekend, my parents got there the day before the wedding, and it overlapped for the weekend with them. And then they stayed for a week after we went back.
Nice. And that concludes our podcast about Riley going to the Portugal.
Yeah.
We're really here though because Issue Box is always doing some great, amazing things.
Absolutely.
And so every time they do a show, because it's not often enough that they do a show, I always want to reach out and try and see if they can come on. And you were in or at or something. I went and saw, what did I go and see? It was Stone Productions.
Stone Productions? Was it Heather's?
Yes, I went and saw Heather's, and that's when I saw you.
Heather's,
yes, and that's when I saw you, and I was like, oh my gosh.
You would have seen Andy in that one.
Oh, really? You were in that one?
Not as memorable.
No, that's okay.
Andy was in it,
memorable.
And then Corbin and I were behind the scenes just helping out with production.
Very cool. But that's when we connected on the Issue Box thing.
Yes.
I said, look, I heard that you're directing this show, and I need to have you on with Issue Box. So what is the show that you guys are doing?
So we're doing She Kills Monsters.
Okay.
It's a play. It's a shorter play. It was written actually by an Athens, Ohio former resident, and I went to Athens for school at Ohio University, but I had discovered the play way before that, actually at the All Ohio Conference for theater. I went and saw, when I was about 15, the All Ohio show was She Kills Monsters, and a couple of my friends were in it, so I went to go support them, and I just thought it was the coolest concept of a show, telling this beautiful, poignant, sad, lovely story of grief through the lens of Dungeons and Dragons.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, see, so I don't know anything about this show, but then I see the artwork and I see what looks like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
So that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing in the show over here, Corbin? She was looking at you and saying you're kind of a big deal, looks like.
So I will not only be stage managing in the show, I've also kind of taken on the role of technical director. I am working, so we have a pretty unique venue. We'll be in the UT Ritter Planetarium.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a first, right?
It was, yes, actually, they've never done a show there. So a live show, rather.
I'm starting to really love UT. UT
Yes.
is really starting to support a lot of the local theater stuff, and I had just seen
Absolutely.
the last 5 years over there.
Which was phenomenal.
Yeah, oh,
They
you saw it too?
Yes,
Everybody saw it?
They were
Good. I'm glad
phenomenal.
everybody saw it. Yeah.
And I mean, we had all seen shows.
Wasn't Max the biggest jerk in that show? No, just kidding.
I know, but I also love that show is written in kind of that first person perspective from Jason Robert Brown, which is very bold to
honestly
talk about how much of
right?
a jerk you were
he
to your
wrote
ex.
the fact that he was an a-hole in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to eat this. That's fine.
Absolutely.
I think he maybe just to make her look better.
Right.
I feel like. But yeah, they did such a good job.
Yeah, and I think, like you were saying, UT has done a really great job of supporting the arts, and
Amazing.
all 4 of us had seen shows in their black box, but we were looking for a really unique venue, and that's kind of where Corbin is facing this huge challenge, because we approached the Planetarium. Obviously, Issue Box, we're a nonprofit, and we don't have a ton of money to float around, and a lot of these...
Who's we?
Well, our artistic director, Rosie Best.
Oh my gosh, she's so... can I tell you how happy I am she's not here? It's finally good to be in Issue Box without her jabbering on. No, I love her. I freaking love her.
She's the best.
No, you
And-
can't say no to Rosie. So if she's the
Absolutely
one who
not.
approached the Ritter Observatory, no wonder you're there.
No, so what happened actually was Rosie, a few years back, they had some open board positions with Issue Box, and so I joined the board, and I have been doing their marketing and social media as one of their board members. And so I approached her and just said, I really love this show. I think Issue Box should do it, and I want to be a part of it somehow. And she said, well, what would you think about directing it? And I was
Get
like,
outta
well,
here.
I have never directed anything other than a short 1 act when I was in high school.
But you're getting involved, though. You're starting, you started off locally doing it as a performer, but now I'm seeing you more and more doing things. Choreography seems to be your biggest thing.
Choreography is the thing that I really love to do. But I wanted the experience directing, and I thought, if there's any show that I would ever direct, it would be this one, because it's my favorite show. So I told her I would love to, and we got to planning. She was very generous, basically just kind of gave me the reins for everything. She said, find the venue, find your crew, find your cast, all of that. So, I reached out to, honestly, the 3 people sitting in this room are the first 3 people I reached out to about the show. I've worked with all 3 of them on numerous
so you batted
productions.
1,000. Nice job. 3 for 3.
Exactly. It's really nice. Like, we all talk about how much we love the fact that it's a full crew and cast of friends, people who prioritize art and the mission of Issue Box Theater, and not the drama or the politics or other things that come sometimes within local theater. Yeah. And we just get together and have fun.
You guys need to talk. She's never going to stop talking. I can
know.
already tell. Okay, so we'll get back to the technical director over here. What are you doing, Mr. Technical Director?
So when we first walked through the Planetarium, we were informed that we would have pretty much full reins of everything they have. That includes the dome projector, the lights that actually sit under the dome. So there are unfortunately
I'm coming to the show. This is crazy.
There are unfortunately no lights that actually point at any of our actors, which in and of itself faces a challenge. We have a very ambient lighting system, mainly used for the Planetarium shows. So that's definitely already been a huge challenge to face. But getting to utilize things like the 3D projector instead of just doing flat projections or building a set even.
3D projections, what?
So we're utilizing the entire dome. So the Planetarium obviously is seated so that everybody can see the dome at pretty much all times. Yeah. So we will be utilizing 3D projections filmed mostly on a 3D camera, so it'll fill the space.
What?
Who's
producing this stuff?
We wanted to make it a fully immersive experience for our audience, and because it's within Dungeons and Dragons, the scenes shift in between reality of Agnes, who is played by Michaela, our lead, who is working through her grief of losing her parents parents and her sister in a car accident, and then she finds her sister's D&D module, and she takes it to Chuck, who is played by Andy.
D&D module?
It's a campaign, essentially, that her sister put together for Agnes to play, and Agnes takes it to Chuck.
Do all of you play D&D?
Oh, heck yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Regularly.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Nodding doesn't help, just so you know. You have to actually say yes over there.
Yes, in fact, I do play D&D.
Andy's like, yeah, but not saying yeah. She's wiggling her head. So you all play D&D, so this is, you know what's going on. So you guys got to, I don't know anything about D&D other than watching the 80s cartoon. You know, that's all I know about.
Well, I'm a regular DM. I'll go ahead and take this one.
A regular what?
Dungeon Master.
Oh, okay.
So,
there we go.
D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. It is a role-playing game mostly based off of rolling dice. So basically, it's just a fun, creative way to tell a story. A lot of times there'll be maps, character sheets, and you kind of get into this new personality. It's kind of like acting without a stage, really.
Yeah.
You get to go through a story, beginning, middle, end. You get to really connect with your friends that you're on a campaign with, fight some cool monsters, and normally at the end of the day, you win something for for your.
All right, I have some more
work.
questions. I'm going to really geek out here on the Dungeons and Dragons. So podcasters, be ready for this, because I've first heard of Dungeons and Dragons in 1991, because I'm old, and I saw a group of young people I worked at Cedar Point. And they were sitting in the lounge all playing it like all night. Like I would see them when I got off of work, and I would wake up and they would still be in the lounge.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are sick. Yeah, it's crazy. You guys
yeah, sometimes those campaigns take a long
but
time.
I didn't understand anything about this. So you're a dungeon master. Like, is this completely like a story that you have to make up, or you make up as you go? Is it like a big improv? What is this thing?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
So, it's like you do this or something.
I've never known really what it is. All I see is like, how?
Yeah.
I don't get this.
So there are a few different ways that you as a dungeon master can really tell a story. Obviously, D&D does a good job of creating pre-made books with stories that you can follow with possibilities. It still takes improv, no matter what you're doing as a dungeon master. Obviously, every possibility is not written out for you. Your players are going to do some crazy stuff, and you're going to have to improv and figure it out. But the way I personally like to play is we don't do homebrew or homespun modules, which is basically you're using your own creativity and building your own story for your characters. And I really like that because you can throw in some of your own little inside jokes and fun things.
Because I never knew, because you would also see it in movies, and they would do things like, you roll at this, then this person has just got his face eaten off by, I'm like, Who decides the face eating off stuff?
The dice don't lie.
Yeah, but when you roll, are the options like, okay, if you do this thing, you're gonna do this kind of good stuff, and if you do this, the face gets eaten. So is that how it works? Do you lay out all the scenarios first and then they roll?
You're not wrong for thinking that. So sometimes,
because it sounds like in movies they just made crap up just because they didn't like the person.
For sure.
Well, for you get face eating.
Right. There are charts sometimes that kind of tell us where if you roll a 1, this might happen, like charts of chaos. But also a lot of the times it's more, severity. So D20 is the most common dice you'll roll. It's a D20 because it's a 20-sided die. If you roll a 1, that would be the worst possible outcome. So you're going to do something really, really bad. But if it's a 20, it might be a really, really good outcome. So it's kind of the Dungeon Master's improv with the help of the dice to kind of lead where the story should go next.
Gotcha. So you better get a good Dungeon Master.
Well, so that's how this kind of ties into our show is Andy, he plays the actual Dungeon Master of the game that they're playing in the
who
play.
Plays?
Andy does. He does, yes.
Oh.
So, he and Michaela both who
So
plays...
you're in the show. I'm sorry. I didn't know what was going on here. Okay, so Michaela and Andy are in the show, and you two are behind the show.
Yes,
right,
correct.
I'm catching up
so,
here.
Andy and Michaela are both kind of, their characters are like the glue that flow between both the reality scenes and the fantasy scenes as themselves, essentially, because while Michaela, her character Agnes, is embedded within these scenes as her own character in the game, Andy is the dungeon master, Chuck is the dungeon master, and Chuck basically is, the one helping Agnes to figure out how to work her way through this module, and along the way learn more about her sister who has passed away.
Okay, so is this just like, is there 2 people in the show? How many people are in the show?
We have a cast of 11 people.
11. Okay, but you two sound like you're front and center most. So you're the person, Andy, who plays Chuck, that is facilitating McKenna, who plays Agnes, her transitioning back and forth between the real world and the fantasy world?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So Michaela, she goes kind of back and forth. Like, she's a teacher at the high school.
Oh, you're okay. I thought you were going to be playing a child. I don't know.
So she's playing an adult, and her sister, who passed away, was a young teen.
Oh, okay. All right. Tell us about you.
Oh, wow. Way to put me on the spotlight.
Where were you born? Start from there.
So yeah, Agnes is kind of going through the process of grieving not only her sister, but her parents who just recently passed away. I think it says 2 years later or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
So she's moving in with her boyfriend, and she finds this old module that her sister wrote when she was alive, and trying to learn more about her sister, since she didn't feel like she had much of a connection when she was alive with her. This is kind of her way to learn more about her after she's passed. And
this is quite a bit later, sounds like a decade later maybe, or
no, just I think it's 2 years.
Oh, I thought you said, so her sister's much younger than her.
So yeah, I think
okay.
Agnes is 24, and Tilly would have been a senior in high school, so 18.
Okay.
So about 6 years difference.
6 years difference or so, but she wasn't that close to her.
Right, because Agnes was Miss Popular, and Tilly was the D&D dork, so they didn't have a lot in common, and so she's kind of going through this oh, I want to learn more about you, but I don't want to play D&D. This is weird and crazy. And then she ends up loving it at the end and making a lot
6
more
years
new
is
friends.
a big difference when it comes to certain age spreads, too. I mean, you're talking about somebody who's not even in high school yet, and you're out of high school.
Right. And there are different versions of this play, too. There's a Young Adventurers edition where it's meant for young actors, so they have the age difference to be different. So Agnes is a senior while Tilly's a freshman, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So when Riley posted this show, did you jump on it immediately thinking, okay, I got to do this show? I mean, how did you feel like you wanted to do this? Did you have to be convinced by anybody?
Oh, I did not have to be convinced.
It was a little bit of an unconventional process because Rosie did just allow me to choose the cast and crew rather than host traditional auditions.
Oh, so you didn't have any auditions?
No.
Oh.
Which usually IssueBox...
This is just like Broadway. You don't have to just pick and you play people you want.
When IssueBox does productions, we typically just kind of involve our group in the shows because we don't do a traditional season of shows. We do
you guys
more
just spring
workshops.
Stuff on us once in a while,
yeah, exactly. So we do workshops. We do a few normal main stage quote unquote shows. But I think what's really interesting about this, kind of tying it back to Corbin's role, is Corbin has the challenge not only of showcasing, lighting for these actors in a reality setting in a non-traditional space, but he also has the challenge of then immersing our audience in that shift from reality to Dungeons and Dragons when they're in the campaign. So he is working really hard to pull in, the lighting board that the Planetarium has, but then also is creating a lot of unique designs and pulling in different videos to create that immersive
How much time do you
fantasy
have
space.
to do this, Corbin? How much time do you have?
So Riley first approached me about this in probably April, May.
Oh.
And I've kind of been working on it since.
Okay.
I feel like that was definitely the best way to do this because when she came to me, she did come to me with the idea that we would be in the Planetarium.
Nice.
So we were doing a different show together. I think it was Spring Awakening with Stone Productions. And she was like, hey, I'm building a team. I think all 4 of us were sitting at breakfast and she kind of pitched it to all of us at the same time.
Collecting my Avengers for this show.
There you go. Can you cheat a little bit and tell us maybe some of the stuff you have been working on? Because I'm intrigued.
Oh my
very
goodness,
much.
you got to tell them about the map that you
Yes,
drew.
the Go-Go Orcus map.
So one of the scenes, obviously in a fantasy setting, there's going to be a map.
Okay.
One of our actors, he throws up a giant map. It is supposed to be comically large according to the script. So what I've done is I have taken the aspect ratio of the actual projector screen and hand drew a Dungeons and Dragons map based off this fantasy world. So when the character brings out the map, it draws itself onto the projector.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. So
So we're doing a lot of like prop work while also showcasing stuff on the dome. And I don't want to give too much away, but I will say
it's going to be visually amazing. It sounds like
it
already.
will be pretty visually wonderful. And I think the biggest thing that people, if you know the show, are going to be curious about is how we're going to do the Tiamat, which is the final boss, big dragon.
Yeah, I know what Tiamat is.
Yes,
Yeah, I know.
so-
She's the dragon. She's the big 600
Okay, but
dragon.
for our listeners, in case they don't
but
know.
I said I watched an 80s cartoon. And she was the biggest, baddest dragon in the whole.
Yes,
in the whole
she is a
yeah.
5-headed big bad dragon.
Oh, I
And
thought she was 6. My bad.
we have been coordinating with both the dome and using projections for that, but also some practical puppetry. So we have Liz Robertson is working on some practical puppets for our show. Liz is the president of Horizon Youth Theater, which all 4 of us are involved with. But yeah, it's going to be really visually very cool for our audience to see.
Amazing. I mean, okay, so Issue Box obviously puts on these shows, and they're not just to put on a show. They always have a mission that they're trying to accomplish. They tend to have a lot of outreach programs or some sort of supplementary attachment to what they're doing. Is that true in this case?
Yes, absolutely. So, Issue Box's mission is to raise awareness for mental health and social justice through the arts. So we focus a lot of our different workshops and shows and series on furthering this mission. We've done, some video projects. We just did one called To Whom I May Concern, where we featured people with dementia telling their own stories. And it was a beautiful conversation facilitated by Rosie Best, our artistic director. And so we do different things like that are non-traditional. But with this show in particular, we really honed in on the grief element and the fact that, everybody kind of processes their grief or moves through their grief in different ways. And for Agnes, I mean, you can probably agree, felt kind of stuck in this grief for a few years and didn't really know how to move on, hadn't even gone through her sister's things in her room. And, I think what's really cool is the way that we are trying to tie in grief for the audience and show the audience that it's okay to feel your feelings and to move through your grief how you need to process it, be it through a game of Dungeons and Dragons or traditional therapy seeking. But, we also have tied in grief to our actors and our crew as well. We are hosting a grief workshop with the Monarch Grief Center. They're going to come in and talk to our cast and crew.
There's the thing I was looking for.
about
I knew you guys always did that. That's what I was trying to get at here. I knew
Yeah.
you'd get to it eventually. But they
So-
did that when they did the suitcase.
Yes, the Willard
The Willard
suitcases.
suitcase, they had a display that was in the library. You go through there and you could see all the individual pieces. It wasn't just the show.
We love to tie in community.
Yes.
So we have the more serious component.
Not
is
trying to put the pressure on Rosie and Issue Box to do this every single time, but
No,
it
but
is
we
a
do.
really
I mean,
cool element to what
that's
you
something
guys are
that we
doing.
think makes our group unique over some
Yeah.
other groups is because we really take the message of the show to heart. So with this, we are doing 2 components. One is the more serious component, which will be our grief workshop that all of the cast and crew will go through. And then the other one is a little bit more fun. We're doing a collaboration with Flip the Table, the board game bar over by UT. And they are not only creating 2 special show drinks for us
Oh, nice,
that people
nice.
can come and buy, but we're doing a big fundraiser night there on September 6th where people can come and, just learn more about the show, learn more about Issue Box, play some games, enjoy our show drinks.
Love
It's
it.
going to be a lot of fun. And
I love
obviously D&D, Flip the Table, a natural
Yes,
partnership.
exactly. Rosie and Issue Box, you guys take the community and community theater very seriously.
Absolutely.
You always do these little things to keep it going. You don't just do the show and then everybody go home and that's it. There's always a talk back. I feel like after every show, there's always a continuation of the show, maybe multiple weekends, or Issue Box would have the display up in the library for a while. Now you guys are doing Flip the Table. You guys
Yes.
are doing all of these things to keep it front and center and active in people's brains, and that is a very cool thing that Issue Box always seems to think about. Wow. Okay. Did we even say what the show is about, other than the fact that it's a person who's dealing with grief? Michaela.
Yeah, I mean, from Agnes's perspective, it is just her process of grief. But I think along the way too, it delves into what D&D means to people, especially like as a D&D player myself. It was a way to connect with my friends after I graduated college during COVID times. We started a campaign virtually, and that was our way of reconnecting every week and making sure that we were catching up with each other. And that's kind of represented in this show as a way of like, this is her new community and this is how she's processing the grief, but it's also how she's moving past it and living her life after the fact. So it talks about at the very end, like she goes through this whole thing where, oh, I don't want to like get married or anything like that. It's a big enough step that I'm moving in with my boyfriend. And everyone's like, no, you want to get married. But at the end of it, it's like, oh, she is able to move past that life. She's able to move out of her old home. She's able to go further with her boyfriend, that kind of thing. So it's
nice.
It's really, yes, it's the grief element. And it's also just like her kind of belated coming of age story where she's 24, but she's still going through the like childlike wonder of like playing. And
I think it sounds great. I think it doesn't sound like just a sad story the whole time.
No.
There is a healing, it sounds like to me, and moving on with life, and I think that's important
too. It's a comedy.
Is it?
Yeah, there's it's obviously a very poignant story of grief, but there are so many comedic elements throughout the show.
Is Andy gonna get all the funny lines?
Andy,
if you want to hear me sing "Loser" by Beck, you need to buy your ticket.
I mean, literally off the bat, the first thing you will hear from an actor on that stage is "Soy un perdedor, I'm a loser, baby."
Yeah, you choking on a splinter, that kind of stuff. You doing that in the show?
Absolutely, baby.
Oh man.
See, now we're talking my jam.
Yes.
Now we're talking 1990 early.
100%.
Ooh,
oh yeah, there are so many 90s references in this show.
Really?
It's great.
Because it was written by somebody in the 90s, probably, right?
Even
Yeah.
better, the show is set in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes, it's 1995.
Everybody's wearing flannel,
Oh, we have some flannel.
and the guys better have jewelry.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Shark
then-
tooth necklaces, the whole nine
Are you
yard.
kidding me?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish my wife was here right now to make fun of me because when she met me, I had more jewelry than her, and I had a fishbone.
Oh,
Yeah, I had
wow.
all that. I had like a couple piercings, and she's like, one of the first things we ever did on our dates, we had to take me to the store and had to buy a new fishbone thing. I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, even the costuming has been such a fun part of the show for us because we don't have a specific costume designer for the show.
Yeah.
It's really just me and the cast working together to figure out the vision. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is self-costumed, so people can kind of dive deeper into their characters and figure
nice.
out what their character would be wearing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the traditional, here's how it should be done, but here's what I feel most comfortable in and what's going to really reflect
And did you
my
direct them
character.
to the show My So-Called Life so they have an idea of what it's actually supposed to look like?
Yes, but I think you're underestimating how many of these costumes have to be D&D fantasy costumes.
Oh, okay. All right,
Because
all right.
we do, I mean, Chuck and Agnes both are wearing normal attire for the 90s. And then Agnes's boyfriend Miles also. But then, her sister, we only see her sister through the game, really, instead of in real life because she's
Gotcha.
passed away. So she's in
she's
the
in-
full armor.
she's in-
She got the pirate pants. It's all
Pirate pants?
It's all fun.
Oh,
It's
that's
great.
fun.
Yeah,
Fun.
and so we have a number of different monsters too that we had to costume because obviously the titular subject is she is killing monsters.
Oh,
so,
yeah, you are killing it. That's right. Nice
All of
job.
them.
Yes,
All of them?
so there's a zany party that they put together for their D&D campaign.
Thank God you explained the name. That too. That helped me. I'm like, oh yeah, it does have a unique name. Where's that come into the thing?
Well, she's literally killing some monsters
There you go.
in D&D. Actually, I guess figuratively if it's a D&D campaign, but still.
Yeah, it's not really literally.
You will literally get to see it.
There you go. When's the show?
The show is September 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Ritter Planetarium. The Friday and Saturday shows will be at 7:30, and the Sunday show is at 2:30.
All right, getting the tickets where?
You can get tickets on Issuebox's website, issueboxtheater.org, and also on our Facebook page.
Facebook, yeah.
I've created an event on the Issuebox Facebook page that you can go and just click that ticket link. It'll take you right
Yeah, and
there.
everybody who's not following Issue Box that's listening to this podcast, just stop. Go follow them. Okay,
True.
go follow them. Get in there. Anybody, just then you'll know everything that's coming up when they post it and share it. Obviously, I try and share as much as I can too, but I am not only one person and I can't figure out everything. So follow all these groups that are out there.
And I will say there's only 85 seats available per night because it's at the Planetarium.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a couple more that we might be able to release, but just depending on the safety of the audience, because there are fights and a lot of, interactive in the audience elements, we don't want to oversell. So we're encouraging people to buy quickly. They go
It's
on
gonna
sale
fill up.
September
It's gonna fill up
1st.
because when I went and saw last 5 years, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I got here.
Yeah.
I live right down the street, and luckily I wandered in, and there were by the time the show started, it was out. It was all sold out. So
Yeah.
we need to make sure you get in there, okay? Thanks for coming, everybody. You're
Thanks
amazing.
for having us.
Oh, stop, all of you at once.